Oh, hey guys, what's up? Today on Rebels Off-Road, we are going to be talking about the all-new H2 side-by-side coming out today. We're gonna go over the specs, we're gonna talk about what type of driver this machine is designed for, and if Rebels Off-Road will be buying one. Stay tuned, smash that like button, and subscribe for more great content. Let's get into today's video. Let's go ahead and watch the premiere video here, the premiere advertisement for the H2. I'm super excited about this.
It's true then.
I've tested everything. But this was the sound. They can change direction like that. Speeds not of this earth. Heard whispers through the ranks for years, and we all thought it was a psyop. Shocking breakthroughs, hush-hush patents.
You know, I don't know a single soul who has clearance on H2.
Then again, I just drive the damn thing.
Would I do it again?
You bet.
Oh man, that was awesome. I'm so amped up about that commercial. Oh my God, that's awesome. All right, so obviously 4-seater H2 coming out today. And that was an awesome intro to it. Kind of spun off of the whole Area 51, kind of alien invasion, kind of, top secret classified thing. And I think they nailed that to a T. Heading on over to the Kawasaki website, they have this banner here, Teryx 4 H2 built beyond belief, supercharged 250 horsepower, which we already knew based on the teasers that came out recently. It's a 4-cylinder inline, up to 5 passengers, and a 9.4. Now it's displayed as a power to weight ratio. It is actually a weight to power ratio that's shown here, but it's still huge because this is much, much better than even the Mav R 4-seater weight to power ratio. So I'm thinking we're gonna see this on the podium at races like King of the Hammers here soon. There's a couple different models, we'll go through that, but let's go through the overview first. So first of all, it is a 5-seater or up to 5 seats available, which means they have a bench seat in the back. It is a belt drive, so it's no different than like your KRX when it has a belt driven. There's no transmission gear driven powertrain there, which I think actually is a good thing. I'd rather change out a belt than have a transmission go out. The estimated dry weight is 2,291 pounds, which is actually not, I don't think that's any more than a KRX 4-seater. I think that's right in line with what a KRX 4-seater is currently. It's got cage and typical stuff like that. 270 millimeter large diameter hydraulic disc brakes. So sounds like we're getting an upgrade in the braking system. So like a big brake kit over what the KRX has. I think the KRX has like a 258 millimeter brake system. The KRX really needs more stopping power, and with added horsepower, you're really gonna need that extra stopping power. So that is very good. Up to 5 passengers, that's with a rear bench seat. We'll go into that here shortly. A D-shaped steering wheel with tilt steer and automotive style control interfaces, color display, yada, yada, yada. Dual exit exhaust. Interesting. That's going to be cool to see. The highlights there, we're going to go ahead and go down to their teaser videos, and then we will watch them and talk about them. Yeah. Okay. So this video told us a lot about this machine. It told us that, first of all, it's got a 4-cylinder supercharged intercooled machine. And intercooled's much more superior to just a regular supercharged machine. It makes power more efficiently, and it's just a better design overall, efficiency wise and power wise. So that's really cool. 4 cylinders is really, really cool. And then it also showed, you saw that graph with the CV and the versus the traditional transmission driven with that graph of the power. What that is showing is that CV transmissions deliver power smoothly through the power band versus, you know, that gear shift transmission where you're going into your power band and then you have to shift and then it comes back into the power band and then you have to shift and back into the power band and have to shift. You're in and out of the power band. So what this is trying to say is that the CV clutch is tuned to deliver power smoothly throughout the whole entire speed range, which is a great point when it comes to these CV clutches and the belt-driven machines. Now, they may not feel as crazy as, you know, a standard transmission, clutch and all that stuff, but they do deliver power smoothly throughout the power range once you have them tuned properly. So that is what that graph was trying to say. And also, hey, you know, as much as you hate changing out belts, it's much more inexpensive to change out a belt than it is to go with, you know, a transmission and blow up in gears and stuff like that. We also saw that the drivetrain in this video was extremely similar to the KRX 4 drivetrain. The diff, the drive shafts, the mid carrier all looked very similar to the Kawasaki KRX 4-seater that we have in our shop right now. So that's very interesting little bit of information. I wonder if those parts will be able to transfer over. So enough about the supercharged engine. Obviously, it's a huge upgrade to the KRX, which makes, you know, like 112 horsepower. And so this is a huge upgrade to it that probably one of the most exciting things about this new machine coming out is the 250 horsepower supercharged intercooled dual exhaust engine. So let's go ahead and get down to the next video where they talk about the shocks. Awesome. So this video had some good information in it as well. It comes with the Fox 3.0 shocks standard, and then it has the internal bypass shocks on the deluxe. As we saw with our 2.5 internal bypass shocks, that's a huge improvement to the suspension, but also let's not discount that the 3.0 Fox shocks is already a huge improvement to the shocking power of this brand new machine. So you already have the 3.0 shocks that are upgrade to the KRX, and then you add on that internal bypass in the deluxe trim level, man, that's gonna be some sick suspension. It's long travel suspension as well, which will mean that it'll soak up the bumps a lot better, and in those whoop sections and stuff like that, it'll soak up the bumps really, really nicely, as we've seen from other machines with those 3.0 shocks. So that is sick. Other thing I was noticing is the design of the suspension is extremely similar to the KRX as well. So what that means is if you go out there and ride your KRX, it has one of the most premium suspensions out of almost any machine on the market today. And this just elevates that by probably about 10. To have that long travel suspension with the 3.0 shocks and having that internal bypass option, that is just gonna make this suspension ride like a freaking cloud. I'm almost guarantee it. Now with the long travel suspension, it does widen the machine to 74 inches, which is wider. And I know the East Coast guys are gonna be saying, oh, well, it's too wide, it's too wide. But hey, considering that my two-seater is larger than 74 inches wide with the spacers on it, and my four-seater is exactly 74 inches wide with the spacers on it, it's really not that bad, guys. And then the other thing with this is the mounting points looked exactly the same as the KRX. So what's that mean? It means that you have potentially a stock Kawasaki long travel suspension option coming out on the market for your Kawasaki KRX, which is, that's pretty awesome. So I know we already have people talking about doing engine swaps and all that, but this could possibly be a long travel suspension swap and vice versa. So say you have a H2 with the long travel and it's just too wide for you, can't take it on the trails. Perhaps, now I might be getting ahead of myself on this one, might be able to transfer the Kawasaki KRX suspension onto the H2 to narrow it up and allow you to get between those trees and stuff like that. So this is awesome. This is all exactly what we were asking for as customers, I believe, and I think Kawasaki nailed this one so far. So let's get on to the next part of the video. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the 5-seat option. So let's get into this video. So this one is mainly about the interior, and there's some pretty big improvements to the KRX in this interior. It looks like they have a retractable harness similar to the Click 6 in here, which is a huge upgrade. That was like an upgrade to the Kawasaki KRX. I'm not sure, this seems like it comes standard on the H2, which is just phenomenal. There's that new D-shaped steering wheel, which we saw on the Kawasaki Ridge. This is coming standard on this machine, I believe. And then there's the automotive style buttons on the deluxe edition for selecting your your display and stuff like that, going through the menus and all of that, which is a huge upgrade versus pushing the switch on the dash that we do like on our Kawasaki KRX 4-seater. So that's pretty sweet little upgrade there for the steering wheel and the steering wheel controls. The 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive diff lock, it looks exactly the same as the KRX, so no surprises there. The bucket seats look freaking nice. They look comfortable. They look like they hold you in the seat well, which is a huge improvement. I mean, that's one of the things that I went out and did was I upgraded my seats in the KRX. You probably wouldn't have to do that in this machine. 4-point belts, like I said. It's got rear bucket seats on the 4-seater and then a bench seat on the 5-seater H2, which, gotta be honest, this bench seat looks a lot like the bench seat that we have in our KRX that we upgraded to. So that's awesome that this has an option to come standard with a 5-seat. I mean, that was one of the upgrades that I did immediately when I bought my 4-seater KRX, is I went out and bought a bench seat. This can come standard with it. Freaking awesome from the factory. So that is really cool. Now, it's not going to be big enough to fit 3 full-size adults. I just don't see that happening. This machine looks to be the same width as the 4-seater KRX, and knowing from my bench seat, you know, it's comfortable for 2 adults and 1 small child, not 3 adults in the back seat. But it is comfortable for 2 adults in the back seat, really comfortable for 2 adults in the back seat with that bench seat. And then if you added a small child, that would be comfortable as well. So this is awesome option coming from the factory though. The dual screen option, that is an option already for the Kawasaki KRX. So I'm not surprised that this has this as an option on one of the trim levels. It is a premium feature. You have more displays, you have more options to look at information coming from your machine with the 2 displays, with that Garmin tread display in the center is pretty sweet. The 7-inch color display is awesome. Yeah, and that 10-inch display on the deluxe edition is really awesome upgrade as well for the deluxe edition. Tilt steer, I mean, that's pretty standard. Yeah, adjustable seats, that's pretty standard. But that is really, really exciting from this H2 that we get all of those premium features coming standard from the factory in the deluxe edition for most of them. But yeah, that's pretty sick. All right, now let's talk about the last thing that they have on here, which is their ROMPS system, their cage system, their sleek design. They want to show that off, so let's watch that video and talk about it as well. awesome. So let's talk about what was shown in this video, which is really cool that they have, appears to be a lower profile design than the Kawasaki KRX 4-seater, which is what a lot of us asked for. I mean, I don't want a huge, big, bulky cage over me. I know it comes standard, and I know a lot of aftermarket cage lower that, but this is awesome. The design straight from the factory for the cage. And so maybe a lot of people won't be doing aftermarket cages for this one as much as for the design as for safety. All right, so let's skip on ahead. A couple more things we noticed in this is the LED lights. It's pretty cool accent lights, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like that ka-chow. They're on the front grille. That's pretty sick. I mean, it's nice. The LED lights on the KRX are, you know, fairly good, but I like this design better, I think. The rear lights are pretty cool too. They're like a, I don't know, kind of like remind me of an alien spaceship type lights. Go ahead and continue on. The air intake, similar to the KRX, but this one has this new trim. It looks like it has this plastic thing that comes up over it, which is the new design, new plastic level that we haven't seen before. The dual intake, air and belt intake is probably very similarly designed. I like this intercooler cover. This is really awesome. It shows off that you have the intercooler supercharged engine in this machine, and it looks sick with the red accent there. Let's be honest. That's freaking awesome. Then the dual exhaust. Yeah, so what's better than having one fancy butthole? Two fancy buttholes.
Oh, everybody, look at my fancy butthole. I mean, everybody does look. It's pretty great.
I'm just kidding, guys. The dual exhaust is awesome. I think that is a really cool design there, and it's unique. I don't think there's any other machine out there that has a dual exhaust like this on their machine. So it will be recognizable. So yeah, some awesome things in that video as well. Now let's go ahead and talk about the different models, some of the differences between them that we see, and yeah, then we'll wrap it up with whether or not I want to buy one, if I think it's worth the price, and some of the last thoughts on this video. So first one that comes up is the just base model, which comes with bucket seats, the 4-point seat belts, has the electronic power steering, Fox 3.0 bypass shock, Fox 3.0 internal bypass shocks, 33-inch Maxxis carnivores with a 16-inch aluminum wheel. That's bigger than the 15-inch that comes standard on the Kawasaki KRX, and also bigger, a 33-inch tire than what is on the Kawasaki KRX. So that's pretty sweet. We're gonna go into the details on that. Pretty much all the basic stuffs here. Got power modes, full power and low power like the KRX did. Fly-by-wire. Has smartphone connectivity. That's pretty cool. Has a supercharged engine that's gonna come standard on all of these. The power is going to be the same across the board no matter which one you get. It's going to have 250 horsepower at 9,000 RPM and 146.3 foot-pounds of torque at 8,800 RPM. So that's pretty cool. Compression ratio, all that fun stuff. The capabilities of it has, you know, the normal clearance stuff. Does have 16.5 inches of ground clearance, which is amping it up a bit from the KRX. Part of that is from the tires, of course. Going to a little bit taller of a tire is going to give you more ground clearance, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, bed capacity is 300 pounds. Payload capacity is 1,076 pounds. Which is, you know, pretty not surprising. So sweet. That is for just the base model. Then we're gonna go back over and check out the rest of the models. So then you have the Deluxe ES, which ramps up the price a bit. The base model is $37,199 MSRP. Actually, it's lower than what a lot of people were predicting. It's not just below the 40. It's just below the $40,000 range, which is better than a lot of these new high-end premium side-by-sides are costing. The next one is the Deluxe ES, which is coming in at $43,199 MSRP. So this is going to be a little bit more premium. You have the 4-point harness, same as the other one, but this one has the live valve shocks, the Fox 3.0 live valve shocks, which is a huge upgrade in suspension and has the electronically controlled suspension with those live valve shocks. Same as what we have on our KRX ES 4-seater, except that these are the larger 3.0 shocks. It also comes with the Garmin tread. The screen in the center that we talked about comes with that. Still 33-inch carnivores, still 16-inch beadlock wheels, and this one comes with a plastic roof, so pretty sweet. And that one also comes with, I believe, the steering wheel controls on the Deluxe. So then going down to the Teryx 5 H2 Deluxe ES, which has all the same stuff as the 4 H2 Deluxe, but I believe this just adds a rear bench seat. So that's similar to what we have in our back seat with the bench seat. So the 5-seater comes in at $43,699, which for a bench seat, if you just add on the price of the bench seat, this is a significant savings. So if you want a bench seat, go ahead and spring for that 5-seater H2 Deluxe, because hey, when I bought my bench seat for the 4-seater, it was like $1,200 for the whole thing, for all set up. It had the tunnel delete, it had the bench seat, it had the harnesses, all that comes standard with this H2 5-seater Deluxe. So I just go for that, honestly. Between the normal Deluxe and the ES H2 5-seater Deluxe, just go with the 5-seater, but that's just me. So pretty sweet. There's 3 different options here. Got the base model, got the Deluxe, and got the Deluxe 5-seater ES. So some pretty solid options coming from Kawasaki on this brand new H2. Now, what type of driver is this designed for? Well, obviously, this is more designed towards the desert racing style of driver. However, they made it narrow enough where us on the East Coast can utilize it. You know, it's not a 77-inch machine. It's not pushing 80 inches wide. So we can actually fit down a lot of the trails with this that, you know, a wider machine wouldn't be able to. So that said, the extra power is huge, and a lot of people don't really need that extra power. Here on the East Coast, we have a lot of wooded trails, and a lot of times that power wouldn't go to use as much as, say, out in the desert setting or out on the dunes or something like that. So I think it is still more geared towards that dune racer, towards that desert racer style of driver. However, it's still usable out here on the East Coast for trail riders. The racing style out here, I think you can still utilize it. And the fact that it's supercharged versus turbocharged also means that there's probably going to be a lot harder of a hit off the line than you would have with your turbocharged. You have lag and other things like that with the turbocharged, and because it's a CV clutch, it's going to have that smooth power delivery that we love so much about our KRXs. So hopefully they'll be usable in the rocks as well. That thing looks like it's everything that the customers have asked for from Kawasaki, and I mean more, really. I'm so pumped about this. Now, do I regret buying the 4-seater when I did? Maybe just a lot. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is really what we've been asking for so long, and you know, we bought the 4-seater because we needed the room for the kids. We needed the room to go off-road as a family. But we were really hoping for something like this, and this just came out. So I think a lot of people are going to be trading in their 4-seaters for the H2. And if you are in the market for a 4-seater, there are going to be some really good deals out there soon. So yeah, This is just everything that the customers have asked for, I believe. And it's in the Kawasaki lineup, so you know they stand behind their machines. You know that their warranty is better than any other manufacturer out there. So if there are issues with it, you know, you can go and take it to your dealer, and they're willing to work with you if you have a good dealer. And Kawasaki is definitely willing to work with you on this. So yeah, the price point is expensive. You know, I can't take that away from it. You know, the deluxe is, you know, $43,000. You know, which is kind of in line with what a lot of people have been saying. It's not $55,000 though. There are machines out there coming on a 4-seater package that are $55,000. And that's just crazy to me to have an off-road toy like this for that much money. But with this machine, it utilizes a lot of the KRX type of styling, or not even styling, but a lot of the frame and other components, it seems like. And that's how they're able to drop this price down to, you know, around the 40,000 mark, which it still is a lot of money, but you know, it could be a lot worse. Now, will I be running out and buying this brand new 4-seater H2? Probably not. I just bought the 4-seater, and I really want to wait and see when the 2-seater comes out with this H2 motor, what that's going to look like. And I might probably buy it then when the bugs are worked out and stuff like that. But this is a very awesome option for someone who needs that extra power and wants a 4-seater or a 5-seater for their family to take out to the dunes, on the trails, you know, wherever you want to go. I think this will take you there. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe for more great content. We'll see you next time.
Live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings, I'ma be fine.